Hey guys, my name's Jonesy. This is Jonesy Comics. Real quick about myself, this will kind of tie into why I'm doing this YouTube channel in the first place. I'm a freelance writer, and I'm working with an artist, James Aaron Evans. He goes by Aaron. We're working on a comic book together, and this has kind of been my dream, my passion. And it's a lot of fun, but it's definitely not an overnight thing. So in the meantime, while we're working really hard to submit these to companies to hopefully have some success, I wanted to express myself in other ways, and I wanted to talk about the things that I like to talk about. And what better way to do that than a blog, jonesycomics.com, and my YouTube channel here. But I love to talk about comics, because that wasn't obvious from me saying Jonesy Comics. Awesome, me. Anyway, I want to talk about comics, but I don't want to just talk about comic books. I want to talk about TV, movies, everything that's going on in the world, because this is a really cool time for comic books. It didn't used to be that way. When I was reading comics as a kid, it was way more hush-hush. This was the late 90s, but, it still wasn't like what it is today. You were still kind of in the end of the era that had begun in 1985 with The Dark Knight Returns. So it was still a little bit hush-hush. It was almost a little bit too adult for me sometimes. But now, you've got digital, you've got TV, you've got movies, you've got everything, and it's all cool. And you're not a stupid nerd for liking it anymore. Now you're just a cool nerd. That's awesome. So I'll just jump right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about on a video was secret identities. The reason for this is because I've actually been rewatching Daredevil on Netflix, because I have time to rewatch it. But if you guys haven't seen that, by the way, please go do it. Oh my god, it's so good. The reason it's so good is because it's nothing that Marvel has ever done before. It's gritty, it's tough, it's awesome. Actually, I guess Punisher has been done. But was that? I don't know if that was through Marvel. You guys let me know in the comments below, because I don't have a fact checker, and I don't know everything. Awesome. But anyway, Daredevil. Talking about secret identities. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine in the comic book world, is secret identities, because sometimes they really work, and sometimes they really don't. And guys, just before we start my rant here, I do want to say that every medium, every character that I'm going to talk about today, I do fully enjoy. I love the characters so much and the stories that they tell. But there's just some things sometimes that, you're watching a movie, you're like, that's not believable. And this is what I'm going to talk about, is secret identities. They're not believable for me sometimes. Daredevil specifically. Here's the first thing that came to my mind when I'm watching the show is Foggy Nelson. He's a really nice guy. He's a really cool dude. He's always going to be Matt's friend. This is awesome. This is a great thing to have. So if you're going to put on a mask and become a vigilante and fight for justice in means that people can't do otherwise, would you not tell this guy? I mean, I feel like personally I would, probably go to Aaron and be like, dude, I'm gonna be a vigilante, mainly because he'd probably be like, I'm on board, me too, but that's another story. But no, I feel like realistically in this world, if you had somebody close to you who would always be there for you and would always support your decisions no matter what, or maybe disagree with you and try to make you come down from that, but still, would let you do your thing, I feel like if I was in Matt Murdock's shoes, I would tell Foggy Nelson before I went out and did anything. I'd be like, listen, I want to fight for justice more than through the law. I want to do it with my fists. They're not working. Okay, let's put those away. Anyway, another really good example of why this kind of thing bothers me is Arrow. If you guys are watching that on the CW, awesome. It's kind of more of a hit and miss for me, just because there's a little more soap opera drama to me sometimes. There's Laurel gets her
Ollie
moments, and that's weird, but you know, lots of people love it. I love it. It's still a great show, but it's not as action-packed, I feel like, as some of the stuff that's going on. But Arrow's the same kind of case. You know, I feel like if I came back from this island, I would be like, hey, guys, I need to sit down. I need to tell you all the things that I learned in the past 5 years about how to be an assassin. I had to kill in order to survive, and now it's really beating me up inside. Please help me. Like, I feel like I would do that, because that would be my end game, is to get back to my family in order to tell them this stuff. And then once I wanted to be a vigilante out on the streets shooting arrows at people, I would want to tell people about it, because they would probably give me really good advice, like, hey, that's great. If you're that good of a shot, don't kill. There's no need to kill. Hit the dude in the knee and incapacitate him for a while. He'll be fine. You know? I feel like maybe that's just me. Maybe I have those kinds of people in my life. Maybe these characters, you know, weren't developed for that. They weren't. They were made for conflict. And they're their best friends and family. Oh, God. Anyway, but anyway, the secret identity thing sometimes seems more selfish than helpful to me when it comes to the protagonist. It's cool, actually. I do kind of like to see them brood a little bit in their own minds. Like, nobody understands me. Yeah, we do. We're watching your TV show. That's how much we understand you. Anyway, especially for Daredevil, there is, to me, his secret identity has an element of shame to it. I feel like he's got a lot of shame built up over the years of who he is, what his city's turned into, of how he hasn't put his foot down sooner, kind of thing. You know, he's not following in his dad's footsteps very well. You know, whatever reasons for shame that he has. I feel like nobody does this better, though, than Batman. Let's talk about Batman for a minute. This guy is so full of shame. Literally, the only reason he goes out every night to fight these villains sometimes is to punish himself. This dude will be battered, just bruised and broken beyond recognition sometimes. And this guy still goes out and he beats the bad guys. Why? Because he feels like he deserves to punish himself until the job is done. And the job is never done, so he will forever punish himself. It's a fantastic, vicious cycle that I love to watch. Mainly because I guess I think I relate to that sometimes. You know, there's been moments in everybody's life where we have a little bit of regret or shame, and we kick ourselves for it. And sometimes when those feelings arise, I think it's nice to kind of read or watch a darker side of Batman and see him struggle in that way, punishing himself so that you maybe feel like you don't have to. Sacrificing himself for you. That's what Batman's all about. Anyway, so yeah, he's really good at the shame thing. But more importantly, I like his secret identity a lot because his is more of a symbol. Now, Daredevil is more of a symbol in the comic books, and I'm sure they'll get to that later. But he kind of was just using it as a not as a tool for fear. He was kind of using it to hide his identity only. But Batman is very much a symbol of fear for the criminals in Gotham, and that's cool. I love it. Oh god, the cape. A Batman. Cool. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Superman, who's a symbol of hope for the people, which is also very good. But to kind of tie this all off, I've been talking about some positive things for the past couple minutes. Let's bring it back to a negative. And I already thought about this before I started filming. I'm a negative Nelson. Negative Foggy Nelson. That's me. Hey, wise guy with the cracks. Okay. But no, Superman. His secret identity drives me insane. Why, you ask? Okay, I'm this giant, muscular guy, the symbol of pride and hope and power, and I've got this slicked back waving black hair and this, you know, just intense jawline and muscular design. And then I'm at the Daily Planet, and I'm Clark Kent, and I look exactly the same, but I'm wearing a suit that's gray and not blue, red, and yellow, and I have glasses on. I feel like if I was a person, and oh my god, weird epiphany just now. Anyway, I feel like if this was reality, that Superman was in our world, I feel like I would catch on pretty quick if that was his disguise. That's too obvious. Daredevil too, because I feel like if my friend was blind, I feel like if I was in Foggy Nelson's shoes, I would pick up on this so fast. If my best friend was blind, and then I'm looking on the TV and I see this vigilante who has his face completely covered from the nose up, like he's covering his eyes, which makes me think he doesn't need them. So if you don't need your eyes, you know, why not cover more of your face? I would kind of put the pieces together, especially when you're like calling Matt Murdock and he's nowhere to be heard from, seen, whatever. I would kind of put the pieces together. I mean, I wouldn't go out and be like accusing people, because this is probably just me again. But if it was Superman, I was like, wait a minute, putting the pieces together here. I would look Clark Kent in the eyes and be like, are you who I think you are? Your secret's safe with me, or maybe it isn't. And then I would be like a super cool villain for like a day, and then I get my face punched in, end up in like Arkham Asylum or something, and I'd never try it again because I'm so weak. Anyway, in the end, why are there secret identities? For me, the reason that they must be around, even though I don't like them sometimes, it's an element of tragedy, because it forces the character to choose between their alter egos. You know, is it going to be Oliver Queen, or is it going to be the Green Arrow? Is it going to be Matt Murdock or the Daredevil? Bruce Wayne or Batman? You know, so it's necessary. It's a necessary evil of mine that tells a great story. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe. I'll try and get these. I don't know how often I'll get these out yet, but I'm going to try. There's a lot to talk about all the time. Bring up some news. You guys like news? Anyway, also check out my blog, jonesycomics.com. Today I'll probably be talking about your favorite superhero, because I'm going to talk about my favorite superhero, Green Arrow, and I want to hear from you guys too, so always feel free to comment on those things as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.